Hey guys, just testing out my new equipment. Got everything set back up in my new studio, my new home arcade. Just want to make sure that everything is working. Audio's good, video's good. We're not going to do our typical live stream today just because I didn't have enough time to prepare. Also, I wanted to do some pinball tonight and stream some of the new Bethesda pinball. So just checking in with you guys, make sure that everything's working good. I noticed just now that the audio spiked a little too high, so I'm going to bring that down just a little bit, and hopefully everything else is looking good. Got it on right now 4K at the maximum frames per second that it will do, so hopefully that's coming through good. Let's see here. I'm going to just do a test chat to myself. Yes, that's coming up. Good. All right, so now that I'm live, might as well just talk a few home arcade subjects while I've got the live stream going. Even though it's not going to be a full show, we can touch on a few things here. Wanted to first just, take a look at At-Home Arcades. I haven't really been updating it much since I've moved, but I did get some of the new Sonic the Hedgehog news on there because this was like a huge bit of news that hit the last couple of weeks. So definitely go check out this article because it was Toy Fair 2026 where they announced this. And essentially it's basically a partnership between Sega and Arcade 1UP. And their first cabinet right out the gate is going to be this Sonic the Hedgehog cabinet. It's a Supreme XL size. So it's going to be, just as big, if not bigger than you can see the WrestleFest Supreme right next to it. Maybe just a tad bit bigger than the Supreme WrestleFest. So it's a large cabinet. Hey guys, looks like Mikey's here saying you're good to go, Biggie. Great to hear. Sounds and looks good is what Papa Brad says. So that's good to hear. Glad to hear everything's going smoothly on my first stream in the new studio. Just talking a little bit about it, the new Sonic the Hedgehog arcade here, because I hadn't really gotten a chance to talk about it on a live stream yet. But basically what they're going to be doing is doing this first Sega cab in this Supreme size. So it's going to be like 69 inches tall, have a 19-inch BOE monitor. The games list. This has been kind of like a sticking point for a lot of people. People have been upset about this. Only 4 games. You're getting Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, and Sonic 3D Blast. So no Sonic the Hedgehog arcade games, no Sonic the Fighters, no Sega Sonic from Japan, and then we're not getting Sonic the Hedgehog 3 because of the Michael Jackson music. So this is still kind of a work in progress from what I hear. Basic Fun, Arcade 1UP is still trying to perfect this. Maybe expand the games list, maybe change up some of the artwork. They said there's still a lot of room for improvement, things that they can do to make it better. So I think they are listening. I would expect this games list to expand, to become larger with more games. Now, what games those will be, don't know yet. It doesn't have a trackball, so it can't be Sega Sonic. Or at least if it does have Sega Sonic, it won't play the way we want it to play. But maybe they can get a Sonic the Hedgehog 3 in there without the Michael Jackson music. Maybe they could get, some other Sonic games on there too as well. I think Sonic the Fighters would be like a must. If they could figure out how to make that happen, I think it's got to be an absolute must because you've got the button layout, you've got the joysticks for it to make it a perfect fit. And then it would truly be an arcade cabinet at that point. Especially if you can do the Sonic Fighters artwork, which I don't know if they can go that far, but maybe we can at least get the game on there. Hey, Mikey saying, hey, Papa Brad, and I'm Tomato Sauces here as well saying they have to add Sega Sonic and Sonic the Fighters to this, right? They are arcade games. Yes, I think so. I think even if we don't have the controls for Sega Sonic, we don't have the trackball, at least get it on there. That way it does have an arcade game, and then Sonic the Fighters absolutely 100% needs to be on there. If they can make that happen, they should do it. So a lot of discussion around this cabinet has been the ability to mod this into something different. I think there's a lot of interest in that because of the size of this cabinet, the dimensions of it, the form factor. It lends itself very well to many other cabinets that we could, mod this into. So I definitely expect to see a lot of people modding the Sega, maybe just getting it for that one reason, just to mod it, not really to play any Sonic games on it, maybe to not ever even boot it up into the Sonic menu, just go straight right into modding this cabinet is a very high possibility. A lot of people are going to be doing that, I think. Availability, this is going to be in the fall of 2026. So we're looking at, 6 months before this cabinet is going to actually release. And that is kind of the question as well. Also is we've got this news, right? We've got this news on the Arcade 1-Up Basic Fun cabinet that's coming. But at Toy Fair, they didn't really show off anything else. They just showed off a bunch of other cabinets that they've already released, as well as that Miss Pac-Man XL. But really nothing new that's in the near future. So my thought has been, and what I've been kind of thinking about over these last couple of weeks during my break is, what the heck are we going to talk about for the next 6 months? Because Arcade 1-Up isn't going to have anything new until the fall. So, where's this heading over the next 6 months while we prepare for home arcade to get back to what we remembered, which should happen towards the end of this year, early next year. We'll start to see more new cabinets, maybe more new Sega cabinets, and really kind of seeing Basic Fun, the new Arcade 1-Up, get their feet under them and really start producing cabinets. But until that happens, which there's going to be this long period that they have to, plan this out and work through all this to get these cabinets out, what are we going to be discussing there during that time? We've got Glenn's FU cabinet that's coming, but we really haven't heard a whole lot on that. We've also got delays on the Iconic Arcade. There's even more delays on that now, saying that it's missed the Chinese New Year. So that could be May, June before those cabinets arrive in people's homes. There's really not much to talk about as far as like the Nova Blast and, the Neo Geo that they did. There's just not enough news there to be talking Unico. So it's an interesting time right now, I think, for home arcade. It's going to be, I think, difficult for me to run an entire live stream every Sunday based on just the news that we have. So where's this heading? I don't know yet. I don't know what the plan will be. I don't know where our focus will be on this channel for the next half a year. But that's something I'm going to have to figure out, continue to think about it, have it in the back of my mind on, what's my future plans for this channel, at least for the near term, for the next, half a year. Mikey is here saying they're just going to talk about speculation videos for the next year. And that was something else I wanted to do too, was kind of just get onto YouTube, because I've been out of the mix here for a few weeks at least, maybe longer, and just kind of look at, Arcade 1-Up over the last month. What are like the biggest videos over the last month? What have people been talking about? And let's see what we can find on that. So I just went to YouTube and I put in Arcade 1-Up for the last month. Of course, we got PD7 doing his daily videos, which, he leads his daily videos with like Arcade 1-Up. Because essentially he's still a home arcade guy, even though his channel has reached well beyond that. It's more of a shopping channel now than it is a home arcade channel, but he still does talk about Arcade 1-Up a lot and home arcade, like even his thumbnail today leading with the Arcade 1-Up. So he's saying that Arcade 1-Up X-Men is back, is what he says. So let's take a look at that and let's test what he's saying here to see if we got any news in that area. He's saying that the X-Men Arcade 1-Up is back. So let's check this out. Don't see any for sale. Okay, and I'm not seeing them on Amazon. Best Buy here, it looks like has one, maybe. Nope, this item is no longer available. So I don't know what PD7 was talking about with the X-Men being back. Here's one at Walmart for $1,350. So that I don't know is newsworthy. So here is a lot of talk about Mighty Comics and Collectibles. This guy actually went to Toy Fair, and he had some pretty good video. If you guys want to go check his video out, he's got some really good video of the Toy Fair in his video. See, where he was able to get some pretty good shots of this like new Sega, the new WrestleFest Supreme, which is now at retail. You can go get it now. And then also some shots of that Miss Pac-Man XL or Supreme. So go check out this video. It looked like it did pretty well. Just less than a week, got out to over 4,000 people. He was actually at the event, got invited, was there. Mighty Comics and Collectibles. So maybe next week we can kind of dig into some of these videos of people that were at Toy Fair. Of course, Michael B, he's still doing his, news videos. Looks like his news videos were the At Games Nod event. So that happened recently. Now, the Nod event wasn't really successful. It wasn't like super low deals. I saw like $100 off of some of the 4KPs. And then you were getting like slight discounts on the tables, but nothing really newsworthy or really exciting on the National Owners Day for At Games recently as well. Of course, he's talking about Toy Fair and then talking about the Iconic Arcade, which got delayed as well. I saw Bill Retro Gaming Show had a really good video on Sonic the Hedgehog. Did really well talking about these new cabinets. Cornercade was doing his streams. I mean, there were tons of videos right when this Sonic the Hedgehog got announced. There was this Dragon's Lair as well. So there was an article that came out called like Gizmo or something like that. Had an article that came out. Let me see if I can find that. Toy Fair Gizmodo. That was it. The dream of home arcade isn't dead. Basically, in this article, they had said that Dragon's Lair was a possibility of maybe coming back through this new Basic Fun Arcade 1-Up, but came to find out that that was just talk. There's nothing really behind that. Maybe they bring us Dragon's Lair. I mean, it's possible, but it's not something that's confirmed, or they're actually got a license for it and they're going to be making them. Actually, Basic Fun Arcade 1-Up had to come out after the fact to clear that up, to let everyone know we're not getting Dragon's Lair. It could happen, but it's not happening right now. Israel Gaming is here saying, at work at the moment, brother. Just wanted to stop by and say, hey, good to see you, Israel. Just testing out the equipment, making sure it's all working, and then also talking a little bit of home arcade while I'm live here. Might as well. I'm Tomato Sauce saying, dude, PD7 is so great. I listen to him on my way to work. Then I watch it after work. So you watch it twice. You don't just get it in the first video. You got to watch it on the second video as well. Here is PD7, by the way, talking about the new Basic Fun Supreme at Sam's for $649. So if you guys have been wanting to get that new WrestleFest, it is available at $650 at retail. Here's a Burnt Orange Arcade. I've been noticing he's been doing a lot of really good videos at retail, like showing us what's at the store, and he has some good information. He seems to be on the, right on the time when things get announced or put into store. He's right there to give us the news as soon as it happens. James Hates Everything doing some more Toy Fair, Sonic the Hedgehog type live streams as well. Same with Michael B. Look at this, though. It's all Sonic the Hedgehog. Rexer Show, though, he had like the greatest stream last night I'd watched. It was hilarious. I was literally laughing through the entire live stream. It was so great. Where they were doing the, why get the Sonic the Hedgehog arcade when you can just drag and drop, drag and drop. And I thought that was so funny. And of course, his shows are always hilarious. Even Gen X Gamer made an appearance during the stream this week. They played his video talking about how he's crying. He's like, please bring us Robotron, Robotron, please, please. Because we're always begging for these arcade games that never come. Video Game Vegas is here. Hello, Biggie D in chat. Good to see Video Game Vegas here. Let's see, what else has been going on that I've missed? So I noticed Moat's been putting out a lot of content lately. He had actually gone away kind of from the home arcade scene, not making much content at all. And now he's back to making videos quite often, I've noticed. But as you guys can see, I mean, what's been the theme of everything over the last month? And it's all been about this Sonic the Hedgehog cabinet. And I kind of gave my initial thoughts, right when the news hit. Also gave my thoughts after the videos and the pictures came out in those shorts. And my thoughts are still kind of pretty much the same because we're still so far out from the actual release of this cabinet, fall of 2026, that there's just not going to be a lot to discuss or to really be excited about yet, because there's still a lot that they're probably going to change. We still don't know what the final product's going to look like, and it's still pretty far out, right? It's still pretty far down the road before that actually is going to hit market and come out. So I've not been super excited about the WrestleFest Supreme cabinet. I think if you're like a WWF fan or a WWE fan, then the Supreme is probably a really good deal for you guys. But for like me, who's not the biggest wrestling fan, just kind of never really watched it, but played some of the video games, it's not for me. So I won't be getting out there and getting that new one. But what I will be doing is playing a lot of these arcades that I already have. You guys can see I've got a nice new game room now that I'm able to stream in. I actually put out a short earlier where I was having difficulty because I was had way too much light in this room. I had covered this window here to my right, so it's completely blacked out. And then luckily I had these lit signs. These lit signs just perfectly covered these two little windows behind me, which gets all the sunlight out of here. I still have a little bit of sunlight coming through this bathroom, this master bathroom here on my left. And you may kind of see it here on this. You can see this light here, but I don't really want to block that out because I'm going to be coming in and out of there a lot. So I'll just have to, the light is actually coming from that corner of the house now. So as long as I'm not streaming like first thing in the morning, I should be fine with just that little bit of light here on my left-hand side. But other than that, everything's good. I think everything's working. I do have a PC that I use for my Zen Studios pinball, like my FX and Pinball M, which I've been playing through the X Arcade. And I noticed when I booted it up yesterday, it just started beeping at me. It was like beep, 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 beep. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So what I use Gemini now. I just took a quick video of that beeping and I uploaded it to Gemini and it told me exactly what was wrong. It was faulty RAM. And luckily I had two RAM sticks. I had two 8 gig sticks. I took out the first 8 gig stick, it booted right up. So it was that first stick I took out was the issue. So I ordered a new stick and it arrived this morning. RAM is very expensive right now. It's outrageous. It was like $100 for an 8 gig stick. I ended up finding it for $65 and I went with that. It arrived this morning, plugged it in, working great now. So I got my gaming PC back. And then, so that was kind of a technical issue I ran into. Also, just setting all this stuff up that I've got right now, just making sure everything was going to work, which it seems like it's working pretty good right now. So happy with that. Got all my arcades plugged in. Everything's working again. I guess what I could do is just like boot some of these things up behind me and just show you, everything's working. So one thing is I had the, I had this out in my living room. You guys were never able to see it on my live streams. Now I've got it in the game room, which is great with my arcades. Now, one thing about the Retromania Wrestling is I've got to get a like a power on, power off adapter thing, because you actually have to either leave it plugged in all the time or unplug it. And I've been unplugging it. All right, I think I got everything booted up here, so you could see. I think it looks really good. Having the ALU in the game room again with my other arcades is really nice. Also having the pinball is really nice in here now. The only ones I don't have in here are the Marvel Superheroes and the Final Fight. If you guys remember, those are the original 2018, 2019 cab form factors. Those matched exactly, so I got those side by side out in the living room. I didn't have room for those in here, so it made sense. Now it's kind of cool because now I've got a different cab form factor for every arcade in my game room right now. That we're in right now. So it's really cool. Everything looks different. Everything's got a different form factor. Every game gives you kind of a different experience. So it's really cool. I thought it came together pretty well. Let's look at it again. So I'm going to enjoy playing these. I still enjoy playing these arcades. I don't really think I need to run out and get anything new or different in the near future unless something just blows my socks off and I just got to have it, which I don't predict is going to happen. I'm predicting there's going to be a long period. There's going to be about a 6-month period, maybe a little less, because there's going to be a little lead up to the fall when the cabinets actually release. But I think this is a good time for us to just enjoy the stuff we have, maybe showcase the cabinets that we already own, maybe do more live streaming of gameplay and tournaments and, sharing all that kind of stuff rather than trying to force feed a bunch of news into a live stream every week that isn't there. Papa Brad's Gaming says, I don't need to talk about any of this. I can easily play all the games I would want. I'm a top 10 in the IFPA pinball world for At Games. Yeah, I'd love to get the At Games pinball, start getting involved in all that stuff that you guys are doing. But I think I'm going to pass on the At Games pinball, at least till I hear that things are going a little bit better for them. I'm not ready to spend, $1,000+ on any At Games pinball right now, but I'm happy to hear you guys are enjoying yours. Everyone that owns these machines, it seems like you guys have really lucked out, got some really great machines, and they've gone up in price. A lot of people got these at, these At Games pinball machines for a lot less than they're selling for today. So, imagine for us waiting 2-3 years and the price just going up, it makes it less and less likely we're going to get involved. But for the people that got in early, you guys got a great deal and you guys are having a lot of fun. Video Game Vegas says, I hope when the final version of Sonic the Hedgehog cabinet comes out, it removes all the Sonic games. It has a golden axe cab with 20 Sega arcade titles. Yes, that would be awesome. I'd love to get just another golden axe would be cool. Hello, wonderful gamers. Thumper Squid is here. Cool King 36 says, do you plan to do the encoder mod for the Attack from Mars? I wanted to. I really did. I wanted to get it so much. And I was ready to do it and everything. And I just couldn't find an Orange Pi 5 for a reasonable price. And I wasn't going to pay, $300 for a Pi when I only paid $300 for I think I paid $350 for that Attack from Mars pinball. So I'm not going to spend as much or more on a Pi. It just doesn't make any sense. Let me see what those Pi prices have done. They're currently unavailable right now on Amazon. And I don't really want to go through eBay or some third-party seller to get one of these. I'd rather get it through a reputable place. So if I have any issues, I can return it. And they're not even available. I really wish that Mr. Encoder would have opened this up to more boards or just waited till the boards became more affordable or figured out a different board entirely to use, because this was not easy for people to get. It was very expensive. And I ended up passing because of that Pi being way too expensive. And I was like the perfect candidate for them as far as like someone that would get that mod kit, because I've had this thing for several years now. I hardly ever play it. I love the look of it in my game room. I'd love to be able to play other Zen pinball tables on it, but just not going to happen right now with the prices and the availability of the Pi. Cool King says, if you do get it into the 4KP, just don't set it up a GoFundMe after the fact. Yeah, no GoFundMes here. Man, I would have to be in a really bad position, like very bad position, to start a GoFundMe. Like, I think even if I had lost my home and I was living out of my car, I probably still wouldn't start a GoFundMe. It would have to be something that like put me into the hospital, or, where like I may not be around much longer, something like that, to have a GoFundMe. So just kind of put that out there. Kevgret says, don't forget to do the drag and drop. The drag and drop. That was so funny last night. You guys come up with the funniest material, Kevgret. I don't know how you guys do it. You guys are just naturally like comedians on your shows. And I was laughing so hard last night, the whole show. It was hilarious. Alan Jones says, what's up, Big ED? Good to see you, Alan Jones. So we'll wrap up here in a minute. Just bring a couple more chats up and we'll call it a day. We're going to be doing some live streaming of the Bethesda Pinball. I am going to use my PS5 again, but today we're going to do a vertical screen, and I'm going to stream it from OBS on my PC. That way we can bring up chats like we normally do, and I can do some graphics around the gameplay and all that. And I'll also have a camera. You'll be able to see me. So Video Game Vegas says, I'm going to get the Pi 5 because I'm all in on my arcade one up for the soft mod. It's a game changer. $300 for a Pi is expensive, but still way better than a 4KP. I agree. We'll see, if those Pis come down, and hopefully Mystery Encoder makes those, what do we call those? The hat that goes on the board. Hopefully those become available later on for order. I hope they don't just cut it off to the pre-orders only, and then you're done. You can't get one. Well, hopefully those will be available. I can get one. But yeah, good seeing everybody. It looks like the equipment's running good. The new studio looks great. Everything's going to be working for next Sunday. So we'll make sure to do a full show next Sunday. I still got to figure out what path am I going to take with this channel over the next 6 months, because I want to stay true to the home arcade and what you guys enjoy and what you guys come here to listen to. But I also got to figure things out, like what am I going to talk about? If it is going to be home arcade, what's going to be the news? And I just don't think there's enough news there to go around. So I'm going to have to come up with some other ideas on, I'm not as funny as Rexer and Kevgret, so I can't just do a full show of like hilarious off the wall stuff like they can. I'm not as talented as they are. So I am going to be doing a tournament. I'm going to try and kick off that tournament like at the start of this week. So upcoming week. So Monday, Tuesday, I'm going to post the tournament. And it looks like we've already got a winner. So let me bring this up for us. And if you guys haven't voted, definitely go vote in this poll. Looks like we've got 26 votes yet, or already. We've got 26 votes already. Choose your adventure for February. What table would you like to pick for our monthly pinball tournament? And the ones that I did were Doom, Fallout, Skyrim, which is part of the new Bethesda pinball pack. And then I also threw in the Addams Family in there because they're doing a really good deal on the Addams Family right now. So like if you go to Steam and you want to get it there, let me see what the price is. It's like 60 or 70% off right now. 66% off to be exact. So they're doing a really big sale right now. And it's $3.39 for the Addams Family. So I figured that would be a great table to throw in there as well. But let's take a look at this. So we got 26 votes, and Addams Family is winning with 58%. And the Bethesda tables, which just came out, aren't even close. Looks like Fallout's leading those three tables. So doesn't look like we're going to be doing those. It looks like it's going to be Addams Family. So check for that tournament to start, tomorrow or Tuesday. And check out Home Arcades, because, of course, all our leaderboards and all that will be updated each day. And that'll be our February tournament. The Beat Me is here. You sound good. Great. Glad to hear I'm sounding good in the new studio and everything's working good. Papa Bread says the Home Arcade news is oversaturated on YouTube. Over almost no real news, right? Yeah, we've got Sonic the Hedgehog, and that's about it right now. Not a lot else to talk about. And you can only pick something so much to where there's nothing left. And that's just kind of where I feel like we're at right now with the home arcade discussion. So going to be focused on the next week. I've got the equipment stuff out of the way now. I've got the studio back up and running. And now I've just got to figure out what direction, what path, and come up with some good ideas to make sure the show's entertaining and you guys enjoy coming here to watch. But you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Tune in tonight for the pinball live stream, and I'll see everyone soon. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.